And we're back. Project I've been looking forward to doing for quite a while is to put a 4.3 V6 in my truck. I know I'll probably catch a lot of flack for that, but it's a great little motor and it's a perfect candidate, I believe, for the Series Rover. This truck is my daily driver. It has to haul some fairly heavy loads around. I need to drive it back and forth at highway speeds to the city and such. So if I'm going to be able to justify having a daily driver Rover, I have to upgrade the power and reliability a little bit. So we're going to finally get that 4.3 put in here. The motor's out, because if you've been watching the Airport Rovers Go to Winter Romp series, as soon as we got back from Maine, we tossed this motor into Nick's truck so we'd be able to return the engine that we borrowed from Bruce Fowler back to him. So, got to finish taking this truck apart, and a few more things will be done to it during the same rebuild. I'm going to rhino line the bed and the cab, new paint job, fair amount of changes up front. We're going to switch from this power brake setup, which has been really great, to a hydro boost system, just to be a little simpler. And we're going to shoot some video along the way. So if you're interested, stay tuned. See you later. So here it is, the donor. 1992 GMC Sonoma 4.3 V6 5-speed. You know, this truck was so good. I drove it for 6 months. A couple $100 invested in this, and it's been just a super truck. So let's have a look what the inside of a Land Rover is going to look like in a couple of weeks. There we go. That's the throttle body injected, early balance shaft, 4.3 V6. There are so many of these around, it's unbelievable. These trucks are rusting away at an unbelievable pace here in Nova Scotia. You can pick one of these up any day of the week for a couple $100. Won't be inspected, then it'll be pretty rusty. But the motor may be just fine. How the hell they got these motors into these cars? Like, look out! I can't tell you. The top bell housing bolts at the top are that far from the firewall, and I mean they're way down in there. I can tap on the end of it with the end of the wrench. It doesn't mean I can turn it or anything. So we may have to resort to some more serious bashing of the bulkhead firewall now that we're talking about American people to get this out here. But anyway, we're relatively close. This little V6 is pretty close to being out of here. We've got the motor mounts off, which was actually a breeze. I don't know why. Nick's been underneath for an hour and a half and undone all kinds of stuff, which we assume is all the good stuff, right, Nick?
Yep.
All right. He's been a trooper about that. I haven't gone underneath the truck yet. So hopefully we'll be hauling this out of here pretty soon. And then this poor old thing will be a piece of history. Check back. See ya. How's it going? Well, we just had an unboxing. The advanced adapters. Land Rover Series adapter from the Land Rover Series transfer case to the new Venture 3550 transmission. That's this one right over here. Has finally arrived. Over 2 years I've been hoping for this adapter, and they've done a great job by the look of it. And they've also sent me the bell housing. This bell housing is from small block Chevy. You'll recognize the small block Chevy pattern on that side to the new Venture 3550 on this side. So, going to get this small block of this 4.3 Chev in my Rover. We've got all the wood off the Rover. We're ready to go over here. So I just have to take this engine, well, the engine's out, this transmission and transfer case out. I won't be using this transfer case because I have the Koenig rear PTO chain drive on this one. This complete engine and transfer case and transmission are really nice. They're going to go in another truck. So I have an Ashcroft transfer case coming, and sort that out. So I had actually videoed this unboxing, pulling all this paper out all over the place, but the camera died, so I wasn't going to shove it all back in the box for you, you can be sure of that. I've been waiting 3 or 4 days to open this box because I've been on a real tight deadline with work, and got it done, and now it's time to start trying to put everything together. We'll see how that works. Keep in touch. Okay, so what I need is a transfer case to do some test fitting with. This junky old transmission transfer case has been, well, it's been under the bench for about, I don't know, 10 years maybe. So, I don't know what kind of shape it's in, I don't know anything about it. But I do know that the PTO that was on it is already long gone. So, probably a good candidate to use as a mock-up. So I'm going to pull it off this transmission, clean it up, because I can hardly bolt that nasty transfer case up to this shiny adapter now, could I? That just wouldn't be fair. Anyway, let's get this apart so we can start doing some test fitting. See ya! Again, So we were going to mate the transmission and bell housing with the engine here, but it was getting a bit tough. So I figured, well, no harm pulling the clutch off because the clutch probably needed to be replaced anyway. And I want to make sure that the spline was correct. It's supposed to be, but spline was correct. But what wasn't correct was the pilot shaft. If you look at the pilot shaft on this transmission, it's significantly bigger than the pilot shaft in that little spigot bushing, or pilot bushing, or whatever you call it. Anyway, so I'll have to pull that spigot bushing out. Fortunately, in the kit from Advanced Adapters came a new spigot bushing, and I'm assuming, happens to be in this bag right here of goodies. There it is. I'm assuming it's the correct size for the new Venture 3550 transmission. Here it is. Let's see what we got here. Ah, now that's the fit. Perfect. So we just gotta take the one out of there. Okay, here we go.
Leave it in for you. Yeah.
Couple more taps. Christoph on the slide hammer. Well done. Hey, welcome back. So, we got it all bolted together. 4.3 Chev. Advanced Adapters bell housing from the small block Chevy to the 3550. 3550 new Venture transmission. The Advanced Adapters adapter from the 3550 to the series transfer case. And then finally series transfer case. I didn't clean it up all that well, but at least it's not miserable. So it makes a pretty long package. Anyway, much longer than we're used to with series trucks. But because the engine is so short and I can move it fairly far forward, the front pulley will be really close, and we're going to find out just how close to the front cross member. My conversion, or my intended conversion, would not affect the length of the drive shafts, would not move the rear transfer case mounts back. So I've calculated that it should all fit. Let's find out. Okay. Alright, so here we go. It's all in. Basically, I mounted the transfer case mounts. You can see down here at the stock location, both sides. I had to cut that little notch out of there so it fit against the Advanced Adapters adapter. But that's okay. So everything is at the back is currently at its stock location. I wanted to put everything in at precisely the stock layout just to see where I was working from. So if you look from the front, you can see the PTO hole lines up perfectly with the crankshaft. This is aligned as if it was a stock installation. However, you can see here, there's no way I'm going to get the headers on here. Way too tight on this side. I have another concern over on the other side, and that's clearance between the front drive shaft, I don't know if you can see down in there, and the bell housing here. I may have to do that from the other side, but I'll show that to you later. Anyway, I just wanted to see where it looked like stock, and now, if you look at these 4 marks on here, 1, 2, 3, 4. These marks line up with the 4 different threaded holes, or the 4 different clocking positions that this transfer case can allow. Right now I'm using the stock location, or 0 degrees, the bolts in the top mark. So I can clock it 7 degrees, 14, 21 degrees. What that'll do is it'll rotate up the transfer case, effectively moving the transmission and engine up and to the right. But the whole thing rotates around the drive shaft line. So the drive shafts don't change at all. The thing is, I'll have to obviously make up new mounts here, and my big concern is this is going to come up too far up into the floor. I don't want to have to change the seat box or the floor. Well, I will if I have to, but it would be kind of neat if I didn't have to. Anyway, we'll carry on. I'm going to try 1 or 2 more positions and see if I can get the headers on. See ya.